Hey guys, welcome back out in the garage. Today I want to talk a little bit again about the IDL machine. I've already showed several videos using this machine, and I think on the last YouTube I had, I showed quite a bit on there, but of course that one doesn't exist anymore. But the reason why I'm going to do one today is a good friend of mine bought some cylinder head work machining. Okay, he bought a valve grinding machine, and he got a seat grinder, and he also got an IDL machine. Okay, and he got a good deal on this whole package deal. So he had asked me if I could somehow do a short video kind of showing how to set up an inline head, okay, on the IDL, because he'll probably be doing more inline head than he will be doing the canted valve stuff. And usually when I'm showing stuff on here, I use the Cleveland head almost 98% of the time when I'm showing something. So it's a canted valve setup. So he just wants to get the basic inline, which is not as, I mean, it's real simple, okay? Even the canted valve is simple, but there is more involved with it, okay? So since we're gonna do inline, I just threw this head up here. It's not even ready to be machined yet. It's still actually dirty. But I just want to go ahead and just show the setup, okay? And hopefully, I'm going to try to do it kind of slow on the setup so that he can see exactly what's going on. It's not like I can just drive over there and help him, because he lives all the way across the states, okay? So anyway, so the first thing when you set a head up, actually on any machine, but on the IDL for sure, you want your cylinder head's going to be clean. So the first thing I look at is, let's say this was a small block Chevy and it had studs. Well, when you go to put the cylinder head on these duck feet, these are called duck feet, that's what we call them. The studs may hit right here, okay, on this piece here, because it hangs out pretty good. So you just have to turn, you can just spin this around. And they'll spin, any way you want on here. So that's the first thing, because if they touch that a little bit, it can actually hold the cylinder head off. So let's say, I said small block Chevy because most of all those are studded, even though the early Fords have stud, and even if somebody put studs in a head that was non-adjustable, like this head here, and made it adjustable and put studs in, again, that's the first thing I look for, just to make sure my studs are going to be on the opposite side of this piece here. Now, second thing, which is actually the most important thing too, is these duck feet sit on the spring pockets, okay? Like this. They sit on these spring pockets. So your spring pockets need to be clean, okay? That's why usually your cylinder head needs to be clean. So you need to check those real well, and then get a wire brush or whatever, and make sure those are really clean, okay? So that's the two things I look for first, okay? Now, a third thing is, excuse me, some cylinder heads, the spring pockets are staggered. And the reason why they do that is because they'll put a retainer to help to spin the valve and the exhaust. Sometimes they'll use a short spring with the thick rotator. That's going to keep everything straight. But if they use the same length spring on all the way across with the rotator and a flat intake and exhaust, they'll stagger the seat so that the height is like this, because they have to make up for the difference of that thickness. So with that said, like for this cylinder head here, this end starts with an intake, but this end has an exhaust, okay? So if they were all the same all the way across, then you can just use the end ones for your duck feet, and then you can machine all these center guides first, let's just say. Then you can move it to do these. But since some heads are staggered, as a good practice is just do them all intake and intake, exhaust and exhaust when you set them on here, even though one's going to be inside a little bit. That way, if you just space it one day, you won't make the mistake, okay? So, because it will hold your head off if you do it. So, okay, so now I'll just go ahead and show the basic setup. So, the duck feet sit on the spring seats, okay? So let's just go ahead and put that on. Well, and also, okay, I'll kind of show that. I could probably hold the head and show that there. So let's just set these on first. So I set it on exhaust in the end there, so go ahead and set it on this exhaust instead of the intakes here, so we're in one. Okay, now also, all machinists, even if they have the same machine, we may do things a little differently because we get comfortable with the way we do stuff, and we might find our own little techniques. I always put the exhaust side away from me on almost every cylinder head. I put the exhaust side. There may be an oddball thing where it can't, but over 90% of them, I put the exhaust side always away from me. That's just something I always do. Okay, so we now have this head set like this. Now you got to get these cones, and you got to find the one that fits. No, that's too big. You get these these little flats with a hole in the center. It's a 5/16 hole. You can see they're kind of tapered. Those sit on the spring seat. I mean on the spring, not the spring, sorry. Sits on the valve seat, okay? You just gotta find the one that actually fits the best on the valve seat right over the duck feet, okay? So we're gonna put that one there and this one here. So now, you get these, I call them tie bars. I have no idea what the professional name is, even though I've been using IDL for 40 years. You drop that right to the center. What I do is I turn this a couple turns like that and I pull up. If it doesn't come out, then I go all the way down, then I'm okay. I go all the way until it stops, okay, and then I back up a turn or so, then I run the thumb nut down like that, okay, that's it. I'm gonna take another one, drop it in, spin a little bit, pull up. If it doesn't come out, then I'm happy. If it comes out, then you just have to move these around a little bit. You just gotta kind of adjust it around. So, spin that down until it's done, hits, back up a little bit, spin the thumb nut. I call these thumb nuts only because I use my thumb to do it, but again, don't know the name of them. And there you go, the head is set up. So actually, see, it wasn't a very difficult thing. So you can just, once you get used to it, then you can have a head set up in less than 2 minutes, okay? So you just set that like that. Now we're gonna do guides. So you're gonna want the tool that runs the core drill and reamer. So this is the core drill. So that means I need this guy here. It has a swivel on it. This here is what goes in the coil, and it's going to run the core drill, okay? And it does have 3 settings for different lengths. I usually just start right off on the highest length, and if that works, then that's cool. If I need to bring it down, then I bring it down. Okay, so now, let's put the core, let's say we'll start from the first one. Put the core drill down. Let me go past this way a little bit so you can kind of see it better. And you have to get this guide. Okay, it's got a hole in it. That hole there is the size of this core drill. In other words, when you run the core drill through, now you're gonna have to go back through with the reamer for the new false guide. The reamer will start because it's smaller only on this end. Let's see, it won't go no farther. It's kind of locked in there. because this reamer is bigger. This is made for the core drill. The reamer is going to get a different one, and there's the size is actually written on the side over here. So now you have to find another taper that's going to go on the valve seat that this is going to sit in, okay, like that. Find the one that fits the seat. That'll work just fine. You got different sizes. And now we can pull this back. You just have to kind of knock it around a little bit until, there it is. Okay, like that. Now, you have this arm here. You're going to roll this arm around and it's going to push down on this guide and put pressure down and hold everything straight. So, just kind of push that down and you lock it in, and you can actually twist this too. I'll move the camera up closer. See? And there you go. Now you are ready. Turn the machine on, and you just go ahead and go all the way through. Once you're done with that core drill, you can unlock this, swing it out of the way. Okay, take this out. Of course, it's going to be way down here like this. Take that out. Then you will drop your reamer in that you're going to be using, which I can't drop it in because we didn't actually machine it yet. Then you're doing the same thing. You're still using this same seat guide, but now you're going to go with the other. I didn't put that on back, did I? No. You're going to go with the other reamer guide. So now the reamer will go in. So it didn't go in the last one. So it'll go in this one. Then of course that goes on. The reamer goes in, and it's the same thing. So some guys will go core drill, you'll do the core drill all the way across, then go reamer all the way across. You can do that. The only difference is, as you're going down, you want to switch between, an intake and an exhaust. You just gotta keep switching those. But there's no rule how you want to do it as far as drill, core drill, then ream, or if you just want to core drill everything, get all that out of the way, and then go back with the reamer, okay? And get all the reamers. They do make a tool that is, both of these are in one, okay? It's one tool, but it's a core drill, then it's a reamer. I've never used it, but I know some guys have. I don't know if they like it or not, but I've always just went like this. Now, so that's how you do the guides. Let me just put this up. Okay, take this tool out. Now let's say we were going to put a hardened exhaust seats in. Well, if that was the case, then you would have had these, of course, on the intakes, so you could machine the exhaust. So let's just say that's already set up that way instead of redoing the setup. If you're gonna do, let's say we're gonna put a seat right here. You're gonna be running, this tool now to run a seat. Same part, same up here, but it's a little different. It does have not a swivel as much as that guide did, but this does swivel some. So what you're going to do is put this in, okay? Then you're going to get whatever pilot fits, whatever size the guides are, which is going to be this guy here. It's got threads down here with this long, we'll call it a long nut like that, okay? So we're going to drop that in. Tighten that nut up. Probably don't really have to, but I'm going to. Just kind of tighten that up like that. Find the cutter that you're going to be using, because say it's this one, put the cutter in there. The cutter has these two, they come different ways, but this one has the dog ears up here, which this has the slots on both ends. So I always kind of put the dog ears pointing forward so you can see it when you're playing with this. Okay. You just bring that down. The same thing, you just kind of just like that. Okay. Then I put pressure on this, just a little bit of pressure, don't kill it, just a little bit of pressure, lock it. Now get your seat. Let's say this is the insert we're going to use. It's going to sit right there between the coil head here and this lock. Okay, it's going to sit right there. Okay, it's going to sit right in between there, like that. Put your hand back on here, loosen that up, grab your seat. Now you can turn it on, you can start cutting, and when this hits this head here, then that's it. That's your thickness of your seat. Now there are times where the head you're working on might have like a little mound look to it, you know, like the seat were kind of raised, where you can put a filler gauge, whatever thickness you want, underneath it here. See, like that. When you set this up, just to let it go a little deeper. All right. Also, what I want to point out, you tighten these thumb nuts here. If you don't have a real good grip, you can put like a little channel lock or whatever, but just barely move them. I kind of leave them loose at first. You can move the head around a little bit. That's going to help you center this stuff. I didn't really do it all right this time, but sometimes you'll have to. Then once you know you got to center, then you can snug those down. Okay, so basically that's the setup. Seemed like there was something else I was gonna. I don't know. So that's basically the setup right there. Oh, okay. Then let's say we cut that seat. So it's cut. You vacuum it out, okay? Then you get this one of these again, like we used earlier, like for the guide work. Find the one that fits the kind of, I always get one that's slightly smaller than the seat if you can help it. Okay, like that, okay? Then you just get that tool there, vacuum this out real good, drop the seat, have your seat sitting in there, and this is going to sit like that. Then you can drive it in. What I do is I kind of like to drive them in, and then I like to kind of blow underneath the seat as I almost get to the bottom, because your wheel you may roll some material. So I always make sure I have one last little, you can use your air then, like just a little light blow or whatever, however you want to do it, and then drive it home. Then what I do is I flip this over to where now I have the taper side, and then I use that my last hit, even though it's already seated, I just give it that last hit with the taper side. But always start with the flat side, because if you don't, the taper may split your seat if you don't already have it in. Let's just say if you're starting it, you can split it. So I think that's everything I can think of at the moment. If not, he may have another question, and then maybe I can answer that over the phone, right? So that's that. And actually it goes real fast. Like I say, you can have a head set up here in 2 minutes or less, and you just start machining. I mean, this whole head, I can, do the guides and everything, and then, not in 20 minutes or whatever. It's not a hard process with this old machine. This is a very good machine. I have the Winona, which has a floating table and everything. I don't even use it for seat and guide work. Very seldom do I do any seat work on that one, only because I have adjustable cutters instead of fixed cutters like these here. And I might get some oddball things, so I will maybe use that. But I like using that machine for like spraying pockets and 4-bolt main conversions, or doweling mains, or polishing crankshafts and camshafts. And we drilling steam holes in small block Chevy heads. You got because that way you can tilt it. There's a lot of stuff I use that over there for. Okay, so anyway, that's that, and hopefully the camera showed enough what I was trying to show them. Okay, anyway, that's that. So maybe tomorrow's another day. It's cold out there, as you can see. It's raining. I'm sure it's like that everywhere right now, or mostly. So stay warm if it is cold out there, okay guys? I'll catch you on round 2.